The Zenless Zone 1.6 update drops tomorrow, so it's kind of the lull before the storm right now. And with that, I figured it might be a good time to talk about some upcoming gacha games that I think are going to shake things up a bit. Now, one of the great things about being late to the party is that you can talk about things that you've become excited about, even if everyone else already knows about them, right? I mean, it's kind of like asking anyone who's ever played any MMO ever, hey, did you know that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial and includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward and Storm's Blood expansions all the way up to level 70 with no restrictions on playtime? Yes, we know. So with that in mind, I want to talk about a few gacha games that are coming up, hopefully in the next year, that I'm super excited about, that you probably already know about. I don't care. I'm soldiering on, happily oblivious to any rolled eyes that you may be throwing my way, and hopefully you'll stay to bask in my enthusiasm. Without further preamble, let's get this train in the water. The two of the games on the list are both open-world games set in a sprawling urban metropolis. Now, you have to understand, I have a huge spot in my heart for any game that attempts an urban setting. You see, over 15 years ago, I created from scratch an open-world retro-futuristic vehicular shooter called Atomic City Adventures. Now, granted, the graphics were dated even by its time, but I was a single dude creating a game with no salary entirely on my own. I did contract out for the models and animations, but all of the programming, design, level creation, everything that was in the game, I created. The game had 4 large city zones, and I placed every tree, lamppost, traffic light, the whole shebang. So even though my zones were closer to City of Heroes zones than, say, Night City, when it comes to building large urban environments, I do speak from experience, and let me tell you, I have nothing but mad respect for anyone that attempts it. Neverness to Everness is the first open-world urban gacha game that has caught my attention and looks like it could be an absolute blast to play. The game is set in the city of Hetero, and the basic gist is that you play as the first unlicensed anomaly hunter. You'll join the antique shop Ibon, which relies on taking anomaly commissions from the public to stay afloat. It sounds a little bit like a certain video store we're all familiar with, right? Anyway, alongside your diverse and extraordinary partners, you'll explore various urban mysteries, experiencing an array of adventures, and craft your own urban unique saga. The game features the ability to drive around in cars and also appears to have some level of customization for your ride. Additionally, they released a gameplay trailer not too long ago that shows off some of the combat, and it does appear to be fairly familiar-looking action-style ability-based combat. The game is being developed by Hoda Studio and published by Perfect World. No official date yet, though speculation is that no sooner than the third quarter of this year. The second big sprawling urban gacha game on the horizon is Ananta, and I gotta say, this is probably the game I'm most excited for out of all of these. The notion here is that the player is an elite agent for the Anti-Chaos Directorate, an organization in charge of attempting to control chaos, that's with a capital C, which is a phenomenon that's breaking out all over the city, causing things like, I don't know, toilets to run down the side of the road, right? The vibe is crazy cool, and though a lot of people are comparing it to GTA, I honestly get more of a Saints Row vibe, maybe without the giant rubber dildo bats. Traversal in the game looks to be a joy. Besides being able to jump into cars and ride around the city, there's also this crazy Spider-Man style grappling system that looks just freaking amazing. Unlike Neverness to Everness, Ananta has actually had a closed offline beta earlier this year in China, and supposedly the response was overwhelmingly positive, like people were saying that it actually exceeded their expectations. This makes me hopeful. Again, there's no official launch date for this one, but they have supposedly received their license from China's NPPA, which means they're on the hook for releasing sometime this year, unless they extend the license. And finally, the game that I think is most likely to be the next one actually in our hands is Arknights Endfield. Now, the original Arknights is the first gacha game that I really got hooked on. Having spent the last 12 years of my career making Orcs Must Die games, it turns out I know a thing or two about making tower defense games. And Arknight's hero-based approach to tower defense was flipping amazing. And that's really what drew me to the game, just how good the actual gameplay was. So I have a fair amount of confidence that Hypergriff, the developers behind this series, know what they're doing. Similar to Arknight's Doctor, in Enfield you are the administrator. And yeah, honestly, I have a hard time using that title with a straight face. However, though, unlike Arknights, the administrator is actually a playable character. And as the administrator, you awaken on a distant planet of Talos 2 and are tasked with exploring, terraforming, and establishing a civilization. The game is open world, though not really urban per se. Base building, though, is a huge part of the game, and it's been likened to a combination of Genshin Impact and Satisfactory. However, though, one of the things that I find most appealing is that unlike most open-world gacha games, in this game your entire party is present as you wander around. And to me, that just presents a greater sense of immersion, you know? Infield recently held a closed beta test in which a number of gacha streamers participated, and you've probably already seen their videos, which are almost universally gushing in its praise. I expect this will be the next thing to draw me away from Zenith Zone Zero, if anything. I am really looking forward to checking it out. All right, so those are the big three I see on the horizon. How about you? Are you looking forward to these as well? Did you play in Enfield's closed beta? And if so, well, what did you think? Are there other games that are coming out this year that you're hoping to check out? Maybe something like Azure Promelia or something like that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you're enjoying Unk's content, well, hit that like button and press subscribe. And until next time, regardless of what you're playing, play hard.